When Claire and I got engaged, I truly believed I had found my forever. I was 32, she was 29, and to me, she seemed like the perfect match, bright, witty, charming, and grounded. She didn't come from money, which I thought would make her down-to-earth and practical. I never once imagined that finances would become the battlefield that tore us apart. But only a few months into our engagement, during what I thought was going to be an ordinary discussion about managing bills, she dropped something so unexpected it stopped me cold. With a completely straight face, she looked at me and said, "Your money is ours. Mine is mine." At first, I actually chuckled, assuming she was being sarcastic. But her expression didn't shift. She was dead serious. She explained that because I was the man, I should be the provider, while her paycheck was meant to be her personal security. That logic didn't sit right with me. I had been raised to believe that marriage was about partnership, about building a life together. I told her flatly, "If this is going to work, it has to be fair. I'm not handing over everything I earn while you keep yours untouched." She didn't like that answer. In fact, she tried to twist it into a guilt trip. "If you really loved me," she said, "you wouldn't hesitate." Then came the ultimatum. If I wasn't willing to agree to her terms, maybe we shouldn't be together at all. I didn't argue. I didn't shout. I didn't beg her to stay. I just looked her in the eye and said calmly, "Okay." And with that, the engagement was over. For the next 3 months, I kept my focus on myself. I threw myself into work, got back to the gym, spent time with friends I hadn't seen enough of. It was painful at first, sure, but slowly, I started to feel like myself again. Claire went completely silent. No calls, no texts. I figured she'd moved on with her life the way I was moving on with mine. But I was wrong. One evening, out of the blue, she showed up at my place furious. She stormed into my apartment, red-faced and shouting, demanding to know why I hadn't come crawling back. "You didn't even try," she yelled. "What kind of man just lets the woman he loves walk away without a fight?" I stayed calm. I told her, "You didn't leave because I failed you. You left because I wouldn't bankroll you. There's a difference." That was when her mask slipped. She crumbled into tears, not because she had lost me, but because she thought it was unfair that her friends had husbands who paid for everything, while she was stuck with someone who expected her to contribute. It hit me like a ton of bricks. She hadn't been in love with me. She was in love with what I could provide. I told her clearly, "I'm not going to spend my life being treated like your wallet. Find someone else." She cried, she begged. She even leaned in to kiss me, but I stepped back and refused. And then came the final betrayal. About a week later, a friend sent me screenshots from a group chat Claire was in with some of our mutual acquaintances. She was mocking me, bragging about how she almost had me under her thumb, laughing that I was too blind to realize I'd lost the best thing I'd ever have. The worst part? She admitted the whole thing was a test to see how much I was willing to sacrifice financially. Our engagement hadn't been about love. It was about how far she could push me. That was the nail in the coffin. I sent her the screenshots with a single message. "Thanks for proving I made the right choice. Don't contact me again." Then I blocked her everywhere. For a while after that, I felt nothing but relief. No texts, no late-night knocks on my door, no drama. I was free. I moved forward with my life. Got a promotion. Started traveling a little. Even dipped my toes back into dating again. But of course, Claire wasn't done. Months later, my phone lit up with an unknown number. Against my better judgment, I answered. Her voice came through the line, "Hey, it's me." I didn't respond. I just waited. She rushed into her speech. "I know things got messy. I wasn't myself. I was stressed. I didn't mean half of what I said. Can we just talk?" My answer was firm. "No, Claire. We already talked. And you showed me who you really are." That should have been the end of it, but she kept going. She begged, claimed she had changed, said she finally realized money wasn't everything. She tried to pull the nostalgia card, reminding me of vacations, inside jokes, the time I surprised her on her birthday. For a split second, I felt that old tug in my chest. Years of history don't just vanish. But then I remembered the screenshots, the mockery, the so-called loyalty test. And my resolve hardened. "I'm not going back," I told her. Not now, not ever. She went quiet for a moment, then started the guilt trip. So you're really just going to throw everything away after all we've been through? I cut her off. No, Claire. You threw it away first. I'm just not picking up the trash. And I hung up. But she wasn't finished. A week later, her sister reached out on Facebook, pleading on her behalf. A couple days after that, an old friend of ours accidentally bumped into me at a bar and started telling me how Claire was a wreck, how she couldn't stop thinking about me. It was obvious. She had enlisted everyone she could to pressure me. But when someone shows you who they really are, you can't unsee it. I blocked her sister. I cut ties with that friend. I kept moving forward. Then came the final chapter. I was at the grocery store one afternoon when I saw her. Claire looked different. Tired, worn down, almost fragile. She smiled faintly and walked over. Hey, you look good. Thanks, I said flat. She swallowed hard, her voice trembling. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I know I can't change the past, but I really did love you in my own way. For a second, I almost saw the woman I thought I was going to marry. Almost. But then I remembered, her version of love was never the kind that mattered. So I gave her a small nod and said, I hope you find what you're looking for, Claire. But it's not me. Then I walked away. That was the last time we ever spoke. Today, I'm with someone new, someone who doesn't treat love like a contract or a test. Someone who values me as a person, not as a paycheck. And every now and then, when my mind drifts back to that day on the couch, I remember her words. Your income is ours. Mine is mine. She thought she was laying down the first step toward my submission. But in reality, it was the exact moment I took my life back.